Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy fucking Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I should get drunk, right?
Hey, I'm already started.
Mm.
This is for your peoples, Eric.
Yeah, but you work tomorrow. And not my people. Stop. We're not gonna go there. Not tonight.
Yeah, I do have to work tomorrow. I'm still drinking tonight. Make no excuses. Oh man, so how's everybody's week been going? Let's go around. I guess we'll start at Gort over here, looking kind of clean shaven and
Yeah.
puppy faced. Look at him.
Week's been going fine. Feels like it's just been nonstop rain though, ever since last weekend. Basement's
It's not
dry,
raining tonight.
so that's a good thing. There was a little bit of rain earlier. It's not raining now. But,
Did it flood? Did you get any leaks of floods at all?
No, I don't get any of that.
That's
Oh,
good.
you're lucky.
I always check, but yeah, that's never really been a problem.
So
There
far, so
was
good.
a little bit of groundwater coming in. So like my main line comes in through a PVC pipe in the cinder block, and a little bit of groundwater was coming in through the PVC pipe. But I blocked that up, and then we patched that, and that's not been a problem. Like years ago, we fixed that. I expect that'll return one day. So that's what I'm always checking. I got a bucket under it just in case. And it was always like a slow drop, not a big deal. Yeah. Got some G.I. Joes in the mail today. The cards were almost beautiful. They're bent at the top just to fit in the box. That's Hasbro Pulse doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Usually I get them pretty well from Pulse. They
Wasn't
single
Amazon
package
just,
them. They usually single
Amazon was
package
putting them in
them,
the
right?
envelopes or whatever and sending them out?
Walmart does that. Amazon can do that with stuff, but I don't usually see it with carded figures. You
I
see it
want
with
to
like
interrupt
boxes.
real quick and point out, Derek, that Brink just said you look fat.
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah.
He's swole.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah. I'll. Yeah. Hey,
Derek,
Brink.
how you doing?
Besides
I'm
being
good,
fat
man.
and swole and all kinds
Right.
of
You know,
other
I'm
than
fat.
that,
I'm feeling
retaining
very
water.
fat right now, and just trying to nurse this headache. But what's up, everybody?
Damn, now I
That's
got
all
a
y'all got.
headache.
That's all y'all got.
Thank you,
Hey,
no,
and that's
no,
not
no.
it. That's not my usual decibels. So that's
Yeah.
how bad this headache is, man. Oh my goodness. But I'm gonna power through it. We're gonna have a great show, and hey, let's do it.
All right. My dude EE, man. How's been your week, brother?
Week's been alright. Had another short work week, only 4 days this week. Got a couple
That's
Got a
good.
couple of things in, that Mayfix storm came in, and what else?
Is she as
Did
nice as she looked?
Yeah. She came out. They do a really good job. I'll keep switching out the shitty ass Marvel Legend female figures that they make for the Mayfix ones as they come out, and maybe some of the guys like I got that Magneto on pre-order, because Anything
that
with a
plastic
cape, anything with a cape from Marvel Legends is just fucking trash.
I want to say quickly, like Brian's definitely right about that. But with the retro carded Joes, they go so quick. I didn't want to be fucking around with that.
No.
But
Speaking of
yeah, that's
trash,
usually
though,
how I do it.
so I won a raffle last week. Got that Toy Biz dupe.
The $100
Was the raffle win?
Deadpool.
Thing goes for about $100.
Mhm.
Any of you out there that want to ever say that Toy Biz made a better figure than Marvel Legends, you're out your fucking mind. Like, the only reason why I got this was for the dupe figure.
Well, then technically they made a better dupe than Marvel Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Now you cut out, brother.
That's Deadpool's way of saying "fuck you."
Toy Biz giving your computer the
He's
business
got a
now for
Toy
bad
Biz
mouthing them.
headset.
Yeah, it's been giving him a hard time. Like he has to have it plugged in, and he might bump the wire or something. Give him 2 seconds. To the cornfield. God damn it! Why couldn't I push the button? I could have finally sent somebody to the cornfield.
That was either
Yeah.
2 seconds or a peace sign.
Well,
So
it better be 2 seconds because we on a show.
Yeah.
So
he'll be back. He'll be back.
Cool. So
Anyway, how you doing,
Oh
Rick?
yeah, tell us about your week, Ricky.
work. Just lots and lots of work. I'm doing a big 5-day stretch right now, finishing it out. 11-hour days every day for 5 days in a row. I'm kind of getting there towards the beat end of this. So I won't actually get a full day off until next Friday. So I'll be mad and I'll be tired.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm trying to think if anything came in. I got the Batmobile. Was that this week? The McFarlane Batmobile?
Was
Did
it this week? I
Did I
don't
talk
know.
about that last week? I don't remember.
think so.
I know I talked about the recording alliance. I remember talking about that because I was giving Dust crap. But yeah, I don't know. I got the McFarlane Batmobile. When I finally have a day off, I'm gonna paint it, fix it up some.
Just give it like a nice black spray.
Well, I'm gonna do the matte to it, and then I'm gonna change the gray canopy to black so it matches, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do like a dull silver over the bat symbols on the tires because they're gold, and I don't like that. And then I'm gonna add chrome to the metal piping and stuff on the side. So I'm gonna try to make it a little nicer. All right, you back, brother?
Yes. Can everybody hear me?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. You were talking about that Deadpool being shit, and you got
All
it
right.
for the dupe.
For one, Brink, anybody duplicate fucking figure. I won a raffle for $10 just to get the dupe character that came in this 2-pack. But yes, anyone who says that these Toy Biz figures were better, trash. They're fucking trash. I don't get it.
Mhm.
They got them shrunken little fucking heads, the ball joints at the shoulders, and just garbage. Just please don't talk to me.
Hey, let's see Dupe.
Dupe
You gonna
is
make
up
him
on the
knock
shelf
off
up there,
Oh,
knock off his
and
shit
I'm not
over.
taking him out because he's on a flight stand behind everybody. And if I do
Oh.
that, he's gonna take it. He's gonna knock everything down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And only my black series are allowed to get knocked over.
And I'm gonna say incorrect. Brink dull silver is not gunmetal. Gunmetal has gray mixed into the silver. I can put silver on it and then put a wash across it to dull it down some. Sorry, sir.
Stop fact checking the chat.
He's
Don't you
fact checking
know?
me over there. I was just reverse
the-
fact checking.
Bro, the customer's always right.
He's not.
Leave
He's
it
not
be.
paying me. He's not
Customer is
paying me.
always right.
He's not paying me.
Okay, so the character's name is Dupe, right?
Yes, the character's name is Dupe.
And he
Okay,
got duped
'cause
into buying.
He looks like
another stupid
Slimer. He
Deadpool.
looks like Slimer without all
Right.
the fat wrinkles. Yes.
Right. Now I just want to, make sure that for all of those that are keeping score, that you're not talking about Dupe. You're not speaking of Dupe as a duplicate character. You're
No.
speaking of Dupe as the character. So
No.
yeah.
No, he was saying duplicate character because he already has a Deadpool. I think is what Brink was
Right.
talking about.
That too.
Unless Brink thought I meant Dupe, and then that just means Brink is probably drinking tonight. So, and just
It's
not
Friday.
cool, Brink.
It's not like
Poop.
Pay attention, Brink.
So and then the best part is that Derek was giving Eric. I'm gonna let y'all behind the curtains a little. Derek was giving EE a little bit of crap during our meeting pre-show yesterday about that $100 Deadpool. That's how much that Deadpool goes for. he threw that bitch across the room live on the video, and just pieces went flying different directions.
It didn't. I don't think it broke though.
No.
It just stuff popped
No.
off, like the swords came off, and like they just
Yeah,
went different
yeah.
directions. I thought that was pretty funny. It made me laugh.
I was like,
I laughed.
hey, throw it over there. It's like sank and right against the wall. Don't do it now. Don't do it now. You gonna do it now?
No, he's going to
He's
get
going to
the
grab
dupe.
dupe.
No, you said he was gonna mess it up. Yeah, okay, well, go ahead, do your thing.
What's up, Eric B? I see you over there in pool.
I want to see all those figures get
Love Eric
built
B.
on that shelf.
Hey yo, chat squad, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? I can't remember if I said hi to everybody, but you know, what's up, everybody? And there's Dupe.
I always thought, you know what? I know it's gonna sound dumb, especially since it's a Marvel character, but I always pictured like he was like a chibi version of the Martian Manhunter. Like even the X on his chest. If you look at Martian Manhunter, he has the red bandolier things holding his cape on.
That is Slimer's cousin on his mama's side.
Hi, Miss Sean.
Hello.
Hey,
Wes, don't talk about EE like that.
That's it. Yeah. That's the new team mascot.
But he looks good, man. I mean, for $10, you can't beat that.
No, I'm never gonna pay $100 for that for just to get this. No way.
Oh goodness, sorry.
All right, what else? How else was
man,
your week,
heavy.
man? What else went on? You got your Mayfex Storm. You got your Deadpool and Dupe.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. My Magic Square Brawl should be here maybe tomorrow, hopefully.
Twinsies, me hoping so too. Yeah, Eric got to laugh at me because I sent him a screenshot of mine. It was actually here in my town, and then they the next thing I know, I'm waiting for it to go to my post office to ship over, and then they sent it to Orlando instead. He's like, haha. And then he hit me back later up with a screenshot of his. They'd done the same thing to him. So I don't know what shows he's doing. They just don't want me to have my brawl. I'm getting kind of mad about it.
you'll get it. Mine's in the mail somewhere too.
Yeah.
I got the because I ordered that in the Prime at the same time. That one came the other day. The second Magic Square one.
Which one?
The metallic painted one they just did.
Oh, the Optimus.
Yeah.
And you said it wasn't really that big of a difference?
No. Like the paint looks nicer than if it was plastic. Like it looks good next to all the other Autobots on the shelf. But it's not like particularly metallic. I would just say it's just painted.
Next to that, an MP44, you think MP44 looks better painted?
I like the shiny paint on. I like the paint on the MP44 better. Yeah.
Okay. That's creepy.
This one looks a lot
out.
better.
I just looked down. There's a giant eyeball staring at me. All right. Anything, Derek? Did you get anything in? You didn't say about if you got anything.
Nah.
No new Logic cases or nothing.
No, not yet. No, that's
a new pack of white gloves, maybe.
Some new white gloves.
Nah. I still gotta send out white gloves to everybody that asked for white gloves. So
that's funny.
Remember, I got that big pack of. It was a big pack of white gloves. So,
dude, that should be like a gag you do in the waffle thing. Like every time you send them their thing, they get a pack of gloves with them.
that's if I'm running something and I'm selling anything. But you know,
that's funny. Make that a third option. You can choose between this thing, or a pack of white gloves. See how many people choose white gloves.
Hey, it's funny enough. We got a new game format, and then each cube that you select from has a $300 value. I can create one and then put these white gloves at a $300 value. I'm like, yeah, I wore these, so they're $300 value.
They touched my Voltron, so
right, yeah,
worth $300. All right,
got that chromy goodness on it.
We made it through our weeks, made it through our introductions. Ricky is fucking killing it. Hit me with that beautiful bean footage. We're on to our next thing. After you finish staring at that,
you can tell your friend to go back to the shelf.
No, you wanted to see him.
Now I don't. Now he's creepy. I don't want to look at him the whole show.
Dupe is watching me.
Yeah, that's
Give him sound effects, Eric.
he look like a
If you're gonna play with your toy, do it right. Give him a voice.
he looks like a booger that became an X-Man.
God damn.
Well, no, I mean he's literally a knockoff Slimer. Like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't think much. They didn't do too much
No.
research into figuring out what are we gonna do next. Let's do this.
Yeah, Eric, I don't. You weren't here at the beginning, man. He's got like a big headache right now, so he's kind of low key. Don't break your
Yeah,
arm. Yeah, I
you
got to
got
pat myself on the back, man. Ain't nobody else gonna do it, Eric.
yeah, Eric. If it wasn't for this headache, I'd be
What
much
all
more
over the
energetic
place.
right now. I'm just trying to not to do a lot of whole lot of movement. So
My eardrums appreciate the break, though. You ain't yell what and blow out an eardrum this time.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, what?
Hey, Ricky, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right, man. Somebody hit me with the. I want to hear it.
Are we?
It's time for the collector showcase.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Wolfie, who's not here tonight. He is on assignment
Getting his stomach pumped.
with his bowels,
Yeah.
and he
Now,
couldn't make
when
it
you
tonight.
say they're on assignment, it's so you don't have to say what's really wrong with them. But then when you start talking about he got to get a stomach pump,
But this is what we do.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't. That's what makes us unique.
Man, he's
'Cause
sick, y'all. Like a
We'll
Chinese
say he's
finger
on
cuff. He's coming
assignment
out
and
both
then tell
ends.
him what the assignment is. So yeah, there you go.
He won't feel so hot.
All right, let me.
All right, now roll that beautiful bean footage, EE. Make yourself big so we can look at you. You and your dupe. Put dupe
No,
center
Gort
stage.
can press the buttons.
You don't have it. You
gotta
didn't
make
set
him.
it up.
I'm doing it right now.
Do. This is Dead Air Podcasting.
At its best.
There we go.
Nice.
All right, yeah. So, show diorama that I did about 2-3 weeks ago. This is for those that don't know, probably like someone like Brian Brank who don't know anything. This is the Hellfire Club diorama. Scroll through some pictures here. This will be
This
pretty
is your
quick,
personal
guys.
diorama, right? This one
My
over your
personal
shoulder.
diorama. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
looks good, dude.
Looks
The
beautiful.
floor was done with popsicle sticks, and then I didn't paint it. I actually used a hardwood stain on the floor.
Stain. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did so. This fireplace does light up. I don't have a battery to get it to light up. It's in the mail. I did paint the gold accent on the fireplace. It became all white.
Oh, okay.
Lampshade's crooked. I just realized that.
We'll forgive you.
You're gonna have to fire that maid.
Or the
if
butler.
anybody, if anybody's ever seen comic books of the Hellfire Club, they got a lot of pictures of themselves around hanging out in the place. So got some pictures there, and
Oh, pizza's here. Sorry.
that's my son. And
Oh. Sorry.
let's keep going.
Hello, nurse.
Fucking Christ.
So this is not a picture of Jesus Christ. This is Emma Frost, the white queen.
Emma Frost.
It's not...
I'm not even going to tell y'all what I see without my glasses on.
Oh, you see exactly what I see, and I have 2018 vision, buddy.
We're going to the next picture. Here we go. We're with the mood lighting set.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Look at that. Look, go back to that. You got like a little what you call it, the old school sand timers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Little fancy clock.
Are those
there.
actually functional, or they just?
Yes, the clock works, and yes.
No,
at 1 inch big, at less than an inch tall. Yes.
No, but like if you turn it over, does the sand move?
No.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's just there for show.
Hey, man, 1 inch can get the job done. Oh.
Yeah, keep believing that. Got Spider-Man poking his head through the window.
That cracked me up. Like, you're gonna blow past this, but I think that's a pretty cool idea to have Spider-Man taking photos through the window of the Hellfire Club. That's pretty cool. That's like a small detail I don't think too many people would have thought of.
Got the double doors here. So all the lights are wired through a wiring system for like a dollhouse kit.
Mhm.
Okay.
You got the wood trim and got the couch for Miss Emma. Got a little
Curio cabinet.
yeah.
I
I got some little books coming on the way.
That or
that I'm
put some
gonna-
Transformers in there. You'd be like the start out display.
World's smallest transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go. They collect masterpiece, right?
Have it do an excuse me, pardon me in the bottom shelf.
Yeah, you got the desk with the
That,
with the
The
computer.
laptop. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little
Got his
bottle of
scotch ready to
Yeah.
go.
Wow. Talk about drinking on the job.
Yeah, right by your keyboard. That's where I keep my liquids.
Mhm.
Yep, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it. If you want to see any more pictures, hit me up.
Did you do like a?
Okay, so let me let y'all in on
So
something.
now you
about
can
E.
ask questions, Jess.
He's his own worst
Yeah.
critic, and he always does great jobs on these things. We always love him, and you see how he blows through them real fast. He did that. That thing is legit. Like, everybody in the thing is even talking about how awesome that thing looks.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's up
Nice.
there, man. You've made plenty of cool dioramas, but that might be up there in running for the lead, man. That's great job, dude.
So, did you do any like behind the scenes stuff for when you were designing it? Did you do like, okay, I'm gonna start showing I'm gonna do these just in case you want to see like a behind the scenes little dude?
No,
Okay.
I usually tell myself I am, but I usually don't. I don't know if you can see off to my left here, someone hiding behind me.
New co-host.
She was moonwalking
no
behind you a second ago. She slid in off screen.
No, I didn't do any like progress pics of that particular diorama.
Okay.
I know he kept it a secret. He said, "I'm working on something." He wouldn't tell us too much until he got close to it. Like, it was almost
Yeah,
done before
because
he
if I
started
don't like it,
telling
I'm
people
gonna
about
toss it in the trash.
it. Let me let y'all in a
Okay.
secret. When he does like it, give it a month. He'll toss that shit in the trash.
Well, no, I
Oh.
still have the the swamp for.
Oh, you still have that
Dreadnought.
up there?
Yeah, that one came out good too, I think.
Okay, me too. But
Okay.
you were the one talking about, "Oh, I hate the gator, and I hate how I'm going to get a whole new gator and do it all."
Well,
over
no, I
again."
need another gator because the gator is just now stuck in water and I can't never take him out. I just want a loose one. That's all I was saying with that one.
Now you said the floors you did with popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when
Lot of
you're lining them.
hours cutting.
Okay, so you had to cut the, like to
Yeah.
cut the tips.
Yeah, I had to cut
and-
the sticks. Yeah.
How many sticks was that?
I can't even tell you. A couple
Okay.
hundred.
Wow.
Couple hundred.
Now
couple hundred.
did you actually buy the bag of sticks, or you went
Yeah.
okay.
No,
Yeah.
he went outside and he chopped down his tree and he beavered them all into individual popsicles.
That's the only way. Like any
no.
other way is cheating, right? I had to make them by hand.
What you can also
he
do is
ate the
go buy
popsicles.
popsicles, and you and
No,
the kids
no.
can
He
have some
wanted to
bonding
entrap
time. You can
you.
use that as a bonding excuse to be with the kids and be like, "Yo, yeah, have a popsicle."
He
A
wanted to
couple
entrap
hundred
you.
popsicles over the
Yeah.
Give me
weekend.
your stick.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus,
Hey,
you have
man,
sugar water entrapped in
I've-
your diorama the whole time.
I've done more with less in that same scenario. So hey, it can be done, and that can be the thing that you did. You just got to wash the sticks, and before you actually start using them and everything, and then slice them up and get them all measured right and all that, and then line them up. But the floor looked really good. I really like the way you did the floor. I didn't even know that you use popsicle sticks. So
Yeah. I'm gonna pull this out only because he's talking about it. Like, a while ago, I used to do this kind of stuff, but I stopped doing it. But I do the same thing. These are like the popsicle sticks and balsa wood, built like
Yeah.
a little cargo container out of it that I had for dioramas and stuff.
okay.
Do the same thing, like, and then the wood staining that he was
Yeah.
talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah. Looks
Yeah.
good, dude.
It looked gorgeous. It looked
This
gorgeous.
is this is my second Hellfire Club diorama.
Where's
The first one in trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so this diorama replaced the previous one?
Well, so I had for a while I was deciding to trim down my Marvel Legends collection. So the Hellfire Club kind of went out and got sold. So yeah, I got rid of that diorama, and then I just started to pick up some ones that I had let go of, and so I built another one. And I think this one came out much better than the first one, actually. So
Oh, okay.
I'm
You
here to
happen to
tell
have
you
any
that
old
I've
pictures
seen
of it?
plenty of his dioramas, and they're all better than I can do, and he's chunked 90% of them.
Do you have any? Do you have any pictures of it or?
of the old one, oh
Yeah.
God, maybe somewhere. Who knows
Okay.
anymore?
I was
Like
gonna say
compare
because
and
Um,
contrast to what you have
have you
now.
ever thought about? Have you ever? I know I'm asking a bunch of questions. These are legit
no, go
questions,
ahead.
but have you ever thought about like if anybody was interested in wanting that you sell it to somebody to say hey if you want it give me
Look,
20 bucks or something.
if it's not good enough for me to think I want to keep it, I damn sure I'm not going to sell it.
Dude, he went to toss one in the trash, and I told him I would pay him for shipping. You're gonna put it in trash, just put it in a box and send it to me. He said, "Nope."
Right.
He said the same thing.
Right.
If I don't like
Yeah,
it, I'm not gonna
man.
give it to somebody else to dislike. And I was like, "Well, what if I like it?" He's like, "But I'll know it looks ugly, and it's in your house." Like I had a whole conversation with him. What was it? Not the Was it the He-Man? It was one of them you were doing. Um,
All right, hold on a
it
second
was one of the
here.
ones that he did, and he was gonna toss it. And I was like, send it to me." Nope.
I
Oh
do
no, I was
have.
gonna ask you to send it to me when we off air, but if you want to show it
Mm.
on there, that's cool too.
Yeah, just keep talking. I can
Yeah.
show some stuff here.
I've
Filling
always been
dead
a fan of
space.
dioramas. I've just never been a fan of doing it myself, And
Like he's
I
been working.
always tell Chris, I said, look, dog, when I decide to do dioramas in my display cases, I'm definitely gonna hit you up or I'm gonna hit somebody else up. And every time I ask Bobby's like, no, what I'm gonna do is have you come over and then I'm gonna show you what to do, and then you're gonna do it, and then you're gonna complete it, and then you're gonna take it home. And that's exactly what he told me. So
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't do manual labor. So
The
I don't
pretentious
do
yeah.
manual.
motherfucker. He calls them dioramas, and he does not do manual labor. Did you hear this shit?
I'd rather pay somebody to do it, man. I'm just I don't have the patience. I
And
don't have the
now my
patience
brush is
to do
clean.
it, you know what I mean? So I'll buy figures and I'll pose them and do all the fancy stuff for that, but that's pretty much it. I know that's not the thing to be like, but I'm just being honest.
I'm the
That's how I
same
feel
way.
about it when it comes in. Yeah.
Not, I've already talked to Chris a couple times. Like, there's a couple ideas, and it's like I feel bad because I know he does his business, and I'm asking for a specific one. I don't care. I pay for what I want, so it's not a monetary thing. It's I feel bad like he's constantly doing stuff
Mhm.
with his job, then he's doing
Yeah.
his own stuff, and then he's helping other people
Right.
out. And I'm like, I want a
Right.
very specific thing
I'm not
at a
gonna
very
pay you
specific shape.
I'm not gonna ask you to do it for free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not like with other people that I've reached out to about dioramas. I'm like, I'll pay for mine, but then feel free to genericize it and make it for everybody else. You know what I mean? So you can sell,
Mhm.
make more money. This thing that
Right.
I'm asking for, nobody
That's
else
called
would.
a commit. That's called a
I,
commission.
yeah, nobody else would want the
Yeah.
same diorama that I want. So then it would literally be
Mhm.
a one and done. So then I'm like, okay, now I got to pay you more because I feel bad about
Mhm.
See,
making you money.
so just dealing with commissions in general, just
I think it's dealing with the people is the hardest part.
yeah, and you got time frames and people expect things done a certain way. It's just not something I want to get into
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I like to work at my own fucking pace.
Mhm. Because
And
I'm like, he don't know it, but I'm gonna hit him up about at least a wall diorama like he has back there for my legends. He can do it at his own pace. I don't give a shit. Just get it here eventually. Because I loved, like, he was showing like his brick wall and all that he did, like that mountain face. Like, I loved it. And I think, didn't you toss that one that I loved that mountain face on?
yeah,
Wasn't that like part one or part two? Like, he's already on like his third or fourth one up there. Like, I'm telling
yep.
y'all, he's his own worst critic. And dude's actually
That's why
very
nobody can.
talented.
Yeah. I mean,
That's why nobody can see up there right now.
Yeah, like he like I like to give EE shit, but I give him his flowers. He's really talented. He's just like I said, his own worst enemy.
Yeah, you're extremely talented, man. You know,
Here,
Hey, hold up.
I really like
up.
the work that you did with
Only
that.
one person
And
can kiss his ass at a time, Derek. You gotta let me finish kissing
okay,
his ass.
let's stop putting.
so, but
All
no,
right,
but
here we go. I
the
found the
one thing.
pictures.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
That's not bad either.
But going
Is
from
that
that
like
to what you
wallpaper you
have
put on
now
there?
is a
That
complimentary
was like a
upgrade.
wallpaper, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is like the
Okay.
Hellfire Club starter home, and then now the one you have now is like their penthouse they moved up to.
You did the same floors with okay.
Look, you did great on the flooring too.
Very good, man.
And that's not easy to do. That flooring, when you do it with popsicle sticks, once you hit it with that liquid, it loves to bow and bend on you. Like it is a bitch to keep it down flat.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that the one you tossed? That was the He-Man one I was talking to you about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
I think that's the one I
Grizzlord?
was like, let me get it. He had it glowing in the dark. He had lights in there, so it would glow. There you go.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
I was trying to get that from him. He said, nope, I don't like it. Nobody gets it. Tossed it.
Yep, just went in the trash. Yep. Just to go in the trash. Yep.
Okay.
All right, Gort, me and Derek are loud. What do you think over there, dude?
Yeah, dioramas are cool.
I love it. That's chef's kiss. Perfect. You can do better than that.
I could tell you, like I've wanted to make backdrops, not like a full room diorama or any of that. Just backdrops, like simple stuff or accessories or things for the action figures to have. You know, like crates or something for like GI Joes to be sitting on, or just lean against, like something simple. Like I don't really care to do a full diorama. I that's in the past for me. I used to do stuff like that, but I'm not working on anything like that until the display is done. I need to get more shelves. That's been getting pushed off for a long time. So whenever I do that, that's when I'll space it all out and make something. I don't want to do what Eric's doing, make something, be unhappy with it, and then do it again. I want to do it right the first time and just be done.
So you want to be perfect, so you'll never have dioramas.
Not perfect, just I want to know that I'm utilizing the space and everything appropriately. I don't want to build something and then 5 more characters or whatever such and such come out, and I'm like, oh, well, I didn't think about putting them in here. And then
I mean, but it gives you the opportunity to say, you know what? I can improve this. I'm gonna do this differently, and then take it and then improve upon it. And then when you be like, okay, I can't make any more improvements, but I know I want to do something different, then you just move on to the next one. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. If that's what you like doing.
Yeah, work really hard like on the backgrounds and stuff, and then make everything internally modular. So if you do have to switch out for new characters and stuff, you can just yank it out without directly affecting it.
Right. There you go.
Figure something out.
I mean, there's always a way.
Like most of the ideas just do backdrops. I don't know if I wanted to do anything like full shelf.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like Turtles would be the only one that I would consider that for, probably.
If I ever do a full turtle one, I'm hitting up JD. Who was that he gave that one to? At
Dave.
That thing was fucking gorgeous, dude.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. Like if I do Turtles, I think I'm gonna have to hit JD and Shane up about that one, because it was it was top tier. Cool. So look, okay, Gort, turn your head to your left.
Okay.
This is my left.
Look, now we're all looking away from our cameras at the same time.
Maybe. I'm mirrored. I don't know what you're seeing.
I was feeling left out, man. Derek and Eric were both looking away. I didn't want to be the only one paying attention.
No, I was trying to catch up with the comments, because what I did was I expanded the screen so I can see the diorama.
Okay, Grandpa, we got you.
Right, who taught you how to say that word?
Diorama.
Yeah.
Diorama, tomatoes, tomatoes.
No. Tomato, potato. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Dio is the singer. Dio is the singer. Dio is the thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody got on me for saying livery, and they said no, it's livery.
Livery?
Said, yeah, that's what I said. Livery. and
You
it
say
really pissed him,
theater
and
or
it really
theater?
made him mad. But I just kept egging him on because I knew it was making him mad. I was like, you're not my supervisor.
do you say theater or theater?
Theater.
Okay. I'll just check.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move into this topic, man. There's no transition here. We're all over the place. Derek's grandpaing it today, no glasses because of the headache.
Mm-hmm.
Eric is hating all his pictures. He's looking at pictures of his old dioramas and remembering why he hates them. You can see it on his face. And it's like, that's why I threw that one away. I hated that.
I still got my He-Man ones, but they're just like backdrops and
No.
like built-in.
Because I know one time you were doing like
Stand, so.
the Gates to Grayskull. You had like that one piece 3D printed, the knocker or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
right,
like
so
a
we're-
legit custom piece for that too.
Yeah.
So you can't throw that one away. That
Oh,
costs
and
money.
I still have the Granamere one that that Brink likes to make fun of every time he sees it. So.
Oh, you have a
Cool
Granamere?
Whip.
Mhm.
This is for Dante. Whip. Cool.
Yeah, cool whip.
So let's just skip into the topic. Well, the topic was we were going to talk about longevity. So unlike EE's dioramas that don't survive a month and a half in his house because he throws them away, we're going to talk about the longevity of shows. There, boom, nailed the fucking transition.
All right.
We're going to talk about shows. Why they
franchises?
Franchises. Why do some last a really long time and some don't? And some that we look back fondly. I know I'm not that guy, and I'm not going to be the poo-pooer on it, but Brave Star was okay. But that's one that Wolfie kept talking about, was he really loved Brave Star and only made it one season. So why do some make it and some don't?
Some suck. That's why.
But Star Wars has made it.
Color eyes.
Agreed. Show
Star Wars. Hold on.
Conversation over.
Star Wars is 50 years in. So with that context,
you gotta check that math. But no,
I mean, I'm 43.
46.
And that movie came out before I was born. So
46.
46
40, 46 years about?
It's 46. Yeah, because
I'm 45. I'm 45. It came out in 77. I was born in 78. So
we're not
give or take. Depending what year what month is its birthday, it's about 46.
I'm not even going to begin talking about my age, but when
dinosaurs
you were like 13 when it came out.
When episode 4 came out, I saw it in the drive-in theater.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I saw it in the drive-in theater.
And you had just got your license, right?
He saw it with his third family because he was 130 years old. So he had to go.
We took your first date.
My dad's, my parents had a Volkswagen Beetle, and
so you borrowed their car.
So you saw Star Wars in Bumblebee? That's awesome.
No, that's the Bug. No,
you said
you did say
Volkswagen
Beetle.
Bug. No, that's the Volkswagen Bug. So it's the van. The van.
Okay.
Oh my god! So
did it have a mattress in the back?
Beatles.
No, but we had the thing. The top of the van lifted up, and then you can lay on it because it had like these canopy beds on the top of it. Yeah,
had the pop up camper on the top of it.
Right, the pop up camper in the top. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we saw that movie in the drive-in theater. So yeah, that's how long ago I remember that. So
all right. So jokes aside about how old Derek is and how old Star Wars actually is, Gort. What we're talking about is why do some seem to have made it this far and some don't? And your quick answer was because some suck and some don't. But here we are, 50 years in the Star Wars. Tell me exactly how you feel about Star Wars now, Gort, and then tell me that your original answer still applies.
No. Okay. I don't want to talk about Star Wars.
Okay, so like I was saying, why have some made it this far? Even if they've gotten worse over time, jokes aside, even if they've gone downhill, they're still here. And to us, it's gone downhill, but somebody still loves that shit because they're still making it. So why have some made it and some haven't? Why didn't Silverhawks make it? Silverhawks was fucking awesome. Didn't make it.
I never watched Silverhawks. That's why.
Oh, it didn't make it because you didn't watch it? Thanks a fucking lot, because that show was awesome. You ruined my childhood.
All we needed was one more viewer.
My childhood.
Yeah.
That's it. You just need one more viewer for season 2. Yeah. And then it would have took off.
That's it. You son of a bitch.
No, I mean
a lot of it is you have to create characters and stories that are going to resonate with people and put a little quality into it. some things had that a lot more than others, and some shows happen to be more generic than others, and some shows end up being more memorable against that. I would say He-Man, for example, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about it, but I would say it's forgettable plots. It's very basic. The characters are memorable, but the stories are not. The
Okay.
toys are memorable. The characters are
So
memorable.
that's why the
The
toys
comics, the
survived, but the story
artwork, the
didn't.
packaging is
Yeah.
memorable. So
Mhm.
that's going to cause something like that to keep coming back or stand the test of time a little bit.
It
But that's
almost
something that
didn't for a
stands.
while. It had a
No, it
real
doesn't.
long
It has
Hiatus.
dead space.
it has gaps, like
Yeah.
generational gaps. But if you look at something like Ninja Turtles, it never went away.
No.
Like,
Mhm.
Just changed into something else.
Yeah.
It just changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mutated into something different.
yeah, but it stays consistently the same. You have
Yep.
four
Yeah.
brothers. They grew up in the sewers. They
And
learned
a sister.
sometimes. You know, they
Yeah, that's
learned
that new
martial
stuff.
arts
I never
from-
knew that they introduced the females in it. I missed
That
that
ain't new.
whole
That was from the
run.
'90s. That was the live action one. Venus de Milo. That was live action.
That's terrible.
Oh, I missed that one. So
the
yeah.
next mutation. That's
Yeah, trash.
see, that
You
that's
know,
that's where like that's bottom of the barrel.
Mhm.
That's worse than when they were going around and dressed up as like rock stars.
Okay, so let me.
I mean, look at Transformers.
I was just about to get
made it.
there. Let me fine point
It's
it.
always been there.
Mhm. So
You know,
why
in
did
some
Transformers
iteration
make
or
it?
another?
Why did Transformers make it, but GoBots didn't? And GoBots was first to market. So why did Transformers take off and GoBots failed?
GoBots is cheap.
Because GoBots was because of the marketing, basically. Look at how the shows were formatted. Each of them, both of them.
They're almost identical.
They had that campy. It was that. So GoBots was done by
I think
Hanna-Barbera.
Burgess.
Yeah.
just
Hanna-Barbera.
Right. Hanna-Barbera. You're not
So
wrong.
and then you got
And that's Silver
Transformers, which
Survey.
is done by Sunbow. So you got two different companies, doing the thing, but the appeal of the visual appeal was more for the Transformers because of how sleek and consistent it was. Now, mind you, I thought the animation for GoBots was kind of better after you got past the first 3 episodes of Transformers. The animation, I will say that the animation for GoBots was always consistent. There was no breaks, there was no color errors or anything like that. But that's any Hanna-Barbera cartoon. But with this one, it was just like, yo, what are y'all doing? And then you notice it. But you know what? When you're a kid, you don't care about the color discrepancies. You only care about that now as you're watching it as an adult.
I don't
And
see
you only
color,
mention
Derek.
it. I always lose my train of thought when
So I was
Ricky
going to give you an easy night because you have a headache.
talk in
No.
general.
No.
But yeah, but yeah, I think it was that for me because it's things that I notice as an adult, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's probably why we got dinged on it so many times. Like, can we go back to Silverhawks for a second?
Yeah.
So Silverhawks, I didn't notice this until I got older, but going back and watching Silverhawks the entire run, I think they met their demise when they brought on Hot Wing. And I'll tell you why. You have a black hero now, painted, in all gold, big lips, and all that, just trying to make him it was just a mockery of a black man. It was just like, yo, it was a full-blown mockery of a black man. I'm just gonna put it out there right there. I was just like, you know what? That's probably when it started. And then when people were looking at that, it was like, yo, okay, yeah, it's time to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. But you don't notice that as a kid because you're like, oh man, it's a black superhero out there. They got one for us now. But then, think about it. When they start introducing like colored superheroes into the fold, that's when they kind of meet their demise. So that's the thing. That's the pattern that I've actually noticed, and it hasn't been just Silverhawks either.
G.I. Joe, Roadblock, since day one.
Okay, so
Through the whole run.
look at Roadblock as a character though. Why he always had to be rhyming?
Because that was his character trait.
Okay, because that was how we were portrayed. That was how we were perceived.
Well, wait a
So
second. What about-
I'm not trying to say that was the. No, I'm not saying that that's the reason
But
for
what I'm saying is, you just
the
said Silverhawks
demise
didn't
of the
make it
show.
because they introduced a black character that was
No, I'm saying it
used to
could
make
have
fun
been the
of a
demise.
stereotype.
Okay, so rewind the tape.
Mhm.
Yes, I said tape.
Mhm.
Rewind the tape, and
At least you didn't say
I
8-track.
clearly
It's
said,
okay.
and I clearly said it could have been
Right.
the start of the demise of that particular show. All right. Now, it wasn't like that for every show because most shows started out with having black characters, such as G.I. Joe, such as Mask, for example. Thundercats, Panther was black. So let's not bullshit about that.
So then we're going with Jazz and Blaster.
Jazz and yeah, Transformers. So
I've just learned
GoBots.
learned recently that Blaster was actually Vanilla Ice. So I don't know. If
Shut up. All right, now back to the serious subject. All right, so I can't read. Y'all gotta, highlight.
You're
the comments
good.
as much
You're
as you
good.
can
If it's
now,
anything
'cause
big, I'll pull it up.
can't- Yeah, but yeah, I use that example for Silverhawks is because they it was that for me. We mentioned Brave Star earlier, and only had one season. And let's also remember that one season of any cartoon was basically 44 episodes. It was like 44 and 60 episodes. So that was considered a whole season back because they were half-hour shows too. So
Well,
because
you needed 60 to be syndicated.
Yeah, and a lot of them didn't make
Mhm.
syndication.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Esteban, what you
That's
just didn't
that's
see
my
real
opinion.
quick. Esteban just put a big
Transformers.
thing. He said in the late 70s and into the 80s, the FCC limited the amount of time a commercial aired aimed at children could be on. To circumvent the government, toy companies moved to animated series. So he's
Yeah.
talking about how like Transformers became a big
Yeah.
30-minute commercial. And
And
then
it's
they
the same thing with
re-regulated it
comics and all
after
the
that.
tie-ins.
Yeah.
Shout out to the toys that made us
Yeah.
But
because
that's
they
one of the things
explained
I
that whole
talked about.
thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I talked about when we first had mentioned bringing this topic up. That's one of the things is these franchises that we're talking about that have lasted is the franchises most of us grew up on when all
Yeah.
this was directly aimed at us as kids, so it all stuck.
Well,
And
if you let's think about it.
Mhm.
Hot Wheels,
Mm-hmm.
Matchbox,
Mm-hmm.
they're before us.
Yeah.
Never died. Barbie never died. Lego never died.
They picked the lane and they
Um,
stayed in it. They didn't.
you
They didn't
know,
veer too far away.
well,
from it.
they've had to adapt over the years,
Mhm.
to stay relevant.
Lego's one of the big ones. Yeah.
Playmobil
Mhm.
never died. Like these, now you're looking at some toy franchises that have literally stood the test of time. Never, just constantly have been in the toy shelves since before I was a kid.
Lincoln Logs.
You don't see
Lincoln
Logs
Logs
no more.
died
Yeah,
out.
you
You don't see
do.
those no
Lincoln
more.
Logs
No,
made
you
it all the way
don't.
up into
Just
the
stop.
90s until it became a safety issue
Oh,
with
that shit you can
splinters.
still go buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not.
But they turned them
it's
plastic,
done.
though.
They
Didn't
don't
turn
make
into
them
plastic?
anymore.
Did they?
Yeah.
If they turned to
Dave.
plastic, they would have put them in the dollar stores.
Yeah. Dave, first of all,
Yeah.
what's up, brother? Secondly, somehow he never died. Somehow. We're still waiting for that explanation. We're waiting for Mando season 4 to understand that.
What's up, Dave? So I wanted to, so back to what you were saying, EE, about damn, I'm sorry, man. I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost there. So
I mean, Dante, there were some of these shows that did not. I'm just going by what he got in the screen.
Oh, okay.
Some of these shows had really good opening theme songs and still didn't make it. Thundercats.
I'm literally typing it right now. Silverhawks had one of the best opening songs. and it didn't make it.
Thundercats had I still think one of the best intros for us as kids.
yeah.
And it didn't. Once it was off air, that was it.
It's funny that you
They
said it.
tried to revive. They tried a revival in what was it, 2011,
Yeah.
and that was a great series for one season. but they were a victim of the toys not selling, and
And the
that's it.
And
the
if
That's
we scrolled
story.
way up, Eric B actually touched on that. He said it was the toy sales that drove
well,
the
toy
show.
sales are always. I mean, that's
It's
always
just
been a
one
thing.
part of it.
But
Yeah,
that was a thing that started after Star Wars. That was not always beforehand.
Well, our lifetime, and yeah. See,
Mhm.
here we go. This is another one. Yes, Gummy Bears intro was one of the.
No, it
It's
is
still. It is. I can
Bouncing
still.
here and there,
no.
I
everywhere.
can
I
still
am right
probably
with you,
recite that
Dave.
entire song.
I'd probably put that and Tiny Toons Adventures. Like I
DuckTales
can do all that.
beats
Ducktales,
all
DuckTales.
that.
but
Yeah.
see,
Woo!
Ducktales didn't survive the test of time,
They brought it back again,
and it's done, and it was not
but
the
it ran for like
same,
6 years. Like
Yeah,
that
but the
remake
thing
and
only ran for
it's
six
and
years.
it's done.
but the
The
thing about something
Simpsons.
like DuckTales, the characters never went
Ooh.
away, but they
Well,
stopped
because
making the show.
well,
It's not the same.
the
Ghost
characters
stars,
were
lasers,
du-
airplanes.
Huey, Dewey, Louie, Uncle Scrooge, they were around before DuckTales.
Yes.
They've
Yeah.
been, they've been part of Disney's stable of characters, forever.
For a while. Yeah.
Well, I won't say forever, but they've been,
Yeah.
Mickey's
No,
Christmas
at this point
Carol
it's
was
forever. Yeah.
done. Oh God, I don't know. Was originally made before I was done. I was born. So these characters have been around for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
They put them in a show. The show was great. We all love it, but
Yeah.
it just unlike like I will keep going back to Transformers. They just kept here's animated, here's Cybertron, here's Armada. We're gonna continue in overseas, and they just never stopped pumping comic books. They just kept pumping it out, and then to the point where we got the movies now, and
Mm-hmm.
Netflix
Look, these people in
shows,
our
and
chat squad need to stop listing shows. 'Cause I'm gonna start singing all these damn theme songs, and we're gonna get fucking booted by YouTube for copyright infringement.
see, this is funny now.
As
So
soon as
now
he did that one, I was like, sometimes.
see, this is funny. Like we're
Go
like
slipping through
when we
the
talk about
cracks.
some like you mentioned DuckTales, and now we're talking about Rescue Rangers. We're talking about it's interesting because now we're talking about characters that that were part of Disney before these shows
Yes.
Yeah.
and have remained part of Disney. So
Yeah.
does that mean that maybe that particular show didn't make it,
Yeah.
but Chip and Dale.
But Disney as a
That's a,
whole is still
Like you
around.
look
yeah,
at
and they're still going. You still see Chip and Dale on stuff. I mean,
because if
obviously.
you look at Disney's model, they were making all the shorts, like the 10-minute episodes, and that's
Yeah.
what they were originally known for. A lot of these characters, but they were
Mm-hmm.
put into storybooks and lots of merch. But that stuff never went away. The shows went away, but they cycled one to the next. Because after DuckTales, it's Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck,
Darkwing Duck.
Yep.
and those shows were airing for a long time after they were done making them. They've done new versions to some of these, or brought them back in like some capacity, but I don't know. Disney's focused on other things. They put their stock into the animated
Live action.
movies,
And now
yeah,
they're
that's the
they're redoing all those live action movies. I mean, animated movies in live action versions. I don't particularly care for any of the live action remakes
No.
they've done.
no.
The classics are fine for me. I grew up on the cartoons.
Although I will say that live action in quotes Chip and Dale movie was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
I did like that movie.
The Jungle Book was all right.
What are you talking about, Magic Mike?
Gore,
Can you
I can't send him to
pull up
the
that neighbor's comment? Pull up Ricky's neighbor comment.
Okay, so my neighbor brought up one a minute ago. I did want to bring that up. Not that one. It was actually before that one. It was
That's the one I'm talking about.
But the one before that was actually a good one. And it was some of these shows and brands that are still relevant today did have low points where reboots didn't connect with the audience, be it the shows or the toys. And the reason why I thought that was a good one is because something we actually talked about when we were figuring out what we were going to talk about here was Transformers. We've talked about Transformers going through and being nonstop, but technically from our point of view, it did stop. It stopped after G1 went to Japan. They had it. We didn't have it here. We didn't know anything about
the
that
franchise itself never really died.
From our point of view, the franchise died until Beast Wars because there wasn't the
but-
internet back then.
yeah,
People weren't
but
giving you that shit like that.
You can find
Actually, they did a
the VHS.
they
But
did
a lot of this
soft-
other stuff. But what I'm getting to is a lot of this other stuff might have been the same thing. A lot of this other stuff that survived. It's not like it went uninterrupted here. It just
Mhm.
it non-stopped somewhere in the world. It was still going and
You
was
know,
important.
He-Man had a reboot that didn't seem to
It
gel
also
with
had
the
it also
audience
had
at
a
the time
sequel.
in
Yeah, that was
2011.
It had a
that was
sequel in '89
terrible.
And that
The most Space
He-Man.
He-Man.
with his
Well, see
ponytail.
that was the death of He-Man when they came out the first version.
You're
I'm here to
talking
tell you,
about the
She-Ra was the
New
2000s.
death of He-Man.
Adventures. No, She-Ra was fine. She-Ra did very well.
She-Ra kicked He-Man's
Um,
ass.
Mm.
Be more
you know,
woke.
it had its audience. It was doing well, but then they did the New Adventures stuff, and that just, that didn't sit well. And then they tried to do a revival in 2011,
2002.
2002. Sorry, the 2000 X series. Sorry,
Yeah.
and it just, for whatever reason, the show was probably the best He-Man show that's been done to date, like
Oh,
story
absolutely.
wise. But
That's gonna be
but the figures that they made for the show, I don't remember what people wanted. Toy sales weren't selling. They were making like these statues for representation of these characters, and it
yeah.
just died. Once 1.5 seasons,
Because
you know.
as that was coming out, Spider-Man Classics and Marvel Legends were coming out by Toy Biz,
Hmm.
and that was like you can't compete with that when you're putting
No.
out a giant 7-inch 5 POA figure.
Mhm.
Like that's no good. The sculpts were great on those things,
Yeah, no,
but
they
they
were.
had
Yeah,
useless articulation because let's say you gave them like you had like all the swivels and like like your standard hip articulation, but if the knees are bent a certain way and the feet are positioned away, it could still only stand one way. It didn't matter. It's useless. Doesn't serve a purpose anymore. It could sit down maybe, I guess. They did do vehicles and like the cats
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But
I
And a
mean,
really shitty Grayskull.
Brink just said it, and it was actually the thing that I said to you guys: robots, dinosaurs, vehicles, superheroes, and military action figures.
Yeah.
Little
All the
Green
ones.
Army Men.
Yep, all the things that have survived are things that fall within those categories somewhere.
Because they're
Yeah, but
not us. Because you see your average person every day, and when you have those cartoons formatted around people, you know
mhm.
it don't last as much as those extra things like Transformers. Who wasn't intrigued by a vehicle that changed into a robot?
But
Who
Yeah,
was not
that's why I
intrigued
think
by that?
but
Transformers hit hard was little boys liked cars and little
Hmm.
boys liked robots. So let's take those two things together and make one cartoon out of it. It's going to be the best selling thing of all fucking
yeah,
time.
but then you look at something like GoBots, who was the same exact thing.
That was a marketing
Robots,
thing.
robots transforming into vehicles,
Mm.
and didn't make it.
But
Robotech,
but this is
robots
mm,
didn't make it.
but this is what I told this when we were talking about this is what I told y'all. The biggest difference between Transformers and GoBots was Marvel. Marvel was making Transformer comics.
Yeah,
GoBots did not have comics until way later when people tried to bring them
but
back. So it was that
why?
constant flood because whoever the people at Hasbro that were running Transformers were smart enough to reach out and get that shit going.
Yeah.
That
Who was
all
running
points
GoBots that
access.
didn't feel confident enough that the comic would work at
Probably
the time?
Todd McFarlane.
You know,
Mm-mm.
What?
you guys ever seen a host get kicked off the show?
You want to see the host go to bed?
Yeah. I don't know. Like like thinking about the GoBots thing
You know,
and just like
I mean, real
I'm
quick,
just
real
gonna-
quick.
Yep.
GoBots had no head. Where was Ironhide's head? Or
Oh,
Ratchet's
man.
head?
Ironhide and Ratchet didn't even have heads at
Yo,
all. They had little
exactly.
stickers you put on the fucking seat.
Like
Mhm.
for me growing up, GoBot toys are janky. I don't think that they are nearly as good as any of the Transformer toys were in design or just the general quality to them. Transformers have a more striking image as a whole, the artwork even on the packaging. But that's it. Like think about the toy commercials, and I think the comic is only one part of it. But if you're just judging the show and the toy line, I think Transformers is the stronger product just looking at it even before you
Mhm.
touch it.
Right, because
You
every
got larger
every
cast,
wave,
more memorable
every wave,
characters.
right? Because every
Luke
wave
said,
that they came out with, it was always something different. The artwork was different. The decos were always different. With GoBots, you still had anytime them toys came out, it was
It
the
was the blister
same
pack on the
carded. It
card.
was the same blister pack of card. It was the same artwork. All of that. It was just so generic. It was nothing new. There was never anything new about GoBots. Now, GoBots not saying that they weren't great
What was
figures or
new?
great
What
characters.
was new about Transformers packaging? They all had that same exact
But no, but
box
you had
No,
you
print
did because
and
the Autobots and
no.
Decepticons had different backgrounds. So right
Right.
no,
off the
but
The-
you
get
had
go,
you had two instead of one.
yeah.
Like
But
No,
GoBots
no,
didn't even
no.
have that. They had a
Hold,
generic. It was that
hold on.
stripy.
you know, the Transformers
Okay.
packaging was pretty the same across the board.
No, I
Depends
mean,
on the
the
year.
packaging was the same, yes, but the artwork always changed, and that's what
And
the
then
appeal was.
you had the
You
bio
know,
cards on the
because
back.
that's what I'm
the
saying.
little-
Because the GoBots, they never changed. They never changed. First of all, they never changed their packaging, and they never changed the artwork.
Hold on
I
one second,
So
don't
real quick.
think that had anything to do with
I'm
GoBots
not
not
in
surviving.
disagreement with y'all. I just have to set my mentally ridiculous. I almost said a bad word. My
Yeah,
mentally
but-
ridiculous neighbor in line. GoBots can't be a fucking knockoff if they came first, idiot.
You know, and I cannot remember
that's
as
true,
a kid
that's true.
caring at all about the artwork on a fucking package. To be totally honest, with you.
It's not about
That shit got
liking it.
ripped open and tossed in
But it's
trash.
not about liking it. It's
Mhm.
about
It's as an
attracting the
adult,
eye. It's
certain
about
one.
attracting the eye.
But I'm talking
the-
about
but-
the.
box and red box will attract your eye more than that basic.
I don't.
ass
I
card
didn't.
with
I don't
GoBots
think.
written on it.
I think you're thinking
I
as
know,
an
Gord.
adult.
I know.
I think you're thinking as an adult. As a kid, I knew Transformers. That's what it meant. I already knew Transformers,
But that's
so I
the
didn't
problem.
care. I didn't
But that's
care
the problem is it
because
was
of the
adults
show.
looking at it. It was our parents going into the stores and buying the shit for us. So they were going
Well-
to go see that box. This box looks nicer than that piece of card that just says GoBots on it. We're buying this, not that.
Mhm.
I don't know,
But
you're gonna
at
have
the
to-
same
we
time,
should
hold
poll
on.
our
Here's
parents.
the other thing that happened. You're gonna have parents that's gonna look at the price tags of those different things and be like, okay, this because anytime you see GoBots, it's always gonna be cheaper than Transformers. So
Yep.
it's like I'm gonna go buy those GoBots because that's too much money. You know, all I
See,
mean,
but that's
they-
sno- but
and then
that's
your average
snobbery.
parent, your
Snobbery.
average parent back then in the 80s are not looking at the fact that this is a smaller figure and it's cheap. That's because it's cheap. No, they're looking at the price tag and they're looking at it. Well, it says GoBots, but it looks like a transform. It does the same thing the Transformers do. They change into different vehicles. They change from a robot to a vehicle. So I'm gonna get them those instead of that because it costs too much money to get Transformers. So
Question for you, Derek. Look right over your shoulder at your collection. You have a gorgeous collection.
Hmm?
Is your collection better than Pinkerton's Transformer collection?
What is that? What does that mean?
It has to be because his cost more because Pinkerton collects.
That's not.
So that's why
not.
Transformers are better than GoBots because they cost more. It doesn't work that way.
I'm talking about the idealistic.
He's trying to say the parents
concept
as a
of-
parent.
I'm talking about how the parents function.
Not you personally. I'm saying parents thinking of it
No,
that way.
that's what I'm talking about.
No. He's
parents.
he's saying as a parent who doesn't know anything about either franchise. Here's a
You're gonna get
Transforming
ones
robot.
before.
Here's a Transforming robot. This
Mhm.
one's $7. This one's $4. I'll buy two $4 ones, and as opposed to the one $7 one.
Right.
And-
I actually like GoBots though, so I did have a bunch of GoBots, and I had some
Mhm.
Transformers
Still
too.
got 'em.
So
Me
you know,
too.
and they all play together.
Yep.
As
And
a kid, I
that's the
didn't
thing is,
care.
I don't think GoBots were cheaper than Transformers. The one thing Transformers had on them was size. Like size of the figures were usually bigger. But
See?
like
Yeah, look at
some
that.
you go with the basic ones, like the mini bots and all that. Those the GoBots had more intricate transformations than mini bots, and people love fucking Bumblebee.
They're more simplistic. Okay,
but
take
Bumblebee
for
is more
example.
than GoBots.
Well, I'll challenge you on that one. Let's say put your leader one against a Starscream. Tell me how the simplistic.
I said
simplistic
mini
each
bots.
one is.
I literally said
Yeah.
mini bots.
Dave's not
Because
wrong,
they're more
though.
precise.
Dave is not wrong. You can find GoBots in just about any fucking store in your neighborhood.
We had them at Dollar General here in Florida. I mean, so they
So-
were everywhere. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the thing.
But yeah, go back to Lou's comment. He was just like, his dad got him a Stax instead of an Optimus Prime because Lou said to his dad, "I want an Optimus Prime." Now, when he goes, he said, "What's the Optimus Prime?" He's a truck. He's a truck that transforms into a robot. He goes straight to the store and sees he does see Optimus Prime, but he also sees Stax. And Stax is a truck who transforms into a robot. But he don't know. All he said was maybe this was all he thought was maybe this is a cheaper version of Optimus Prime because that's really Optimus Prime. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get that because he's gonna be happy with it anyway. That's exactly what happened.
GoBots is doing it on purpose, underselling to sell their figures, but it's gotten a negative.
Original retail price
It's not even
for
it's not even
Generation
about
Optimus
underselling.
Prime was $20.99.
Yep, it was
Mhm.
$20,
See,
and then GoBots were like
you're getting into all these
$9.
semantics of like the cost and how the parents did stuff. But at this point, I don't think any of this is why GoBots necessarily failed. You're
Agreed.
talking
I don't
about
think.
why GoBots, had people buying it at all because it's just cheap crap.
Yeah. But I think
I
it
don't
failed
think it
because
was
it is
crap
not
though.
by
I don't
some
think the
computer
toys were
Me
crap.
neither.
I do not think the toys were
I don't
crap.
agree
I
with
don't
that.
think any of them were crap. It was just your preference. It was your preference at the
Yeah,
time.
but I think it
And,
was more
when
like
you were
I
a
said,
kid.
it's the push. It was the
Yeah.
big push. You had Marvel. You had
The show was better.
big-ass
The
toys, you had the
Transformers
show.
G1 show was light years better than the GoBot show,
Yeah.
and that's what made me want Transformers more.
You had the show. You had the lunch boxes. You had the T-shirts. It was like overwhelming. You couldn't turn your head without seeing Transformers. But if you wanted GoBots, you had to go to that back corner of the Dollar General and look over there next to the superheroes. The Batman and Joker on the gold cards. Like right next to them would be a GoBot. So I think it was just the push. Yeah, I know some of the cheaper GoBots were like $3. I didn't say that was wrong. But Optimus Prime wasn't the cheap Transformer either.
No, I mean, companies thought about this. I mean, when they made Castle Grayskull, it was a $20 figure, and they didn't think anybody was going to buy it because it was so expensive. Because at the time, that felt expensive. $20. That Eternia playset was $89, $99 only. Now
Yeah, we say only now.
look what we had. Look what they had to pay for
Max
it
was the
now.
same price.
Look what they had to pay for it now from when they did the crowdfund.
Yeah.
So I mean, companies were a little more concerned at the time of not making things that were over that they thought parents were going to buy due to price. But like Inhumanoids is another show I loved as a kid. I loved the toys. Didn't make it.
But just
Mech
getting back on
dudes
topic.
and giant monsters and just.
So why do you think that line failed?
I can tell you. I think they only had. Oh, the show was fucking horrible. To be totally honest with you,
Which one?
The Humanoid show was actually really, really bad.
It's rough.
Honestly,
but the toys were fucking great, man. Rock monsters and tree monsters and big old fucking,
I still can't understand why Exo Squad didn't go farther. The cartoon was actually really cool. It had a really good story that still stands up now if you watch it, and it had cool toys. And I don't understand why it didn't go further. Like that's
why did Voltron die for a long time? I mean,
have you ever gone back and watched G1 Voltron?
Yeah, but still,
they only drew like 3 cells, and they just flipped them back and forth. And put
but you know what? It had a really really good theme. You had not only you had something that transformed into a massive robot, and that fought another massive monster every week.
Because America or the U.S. You got to remember with the Voltron cartoon, they got the translated version. They had to translate Go Lion, and they had to also change Go Lion so they can actually show it in the U.S. So if you got to do all of that work and it's not getting any pull or anything like that, you're gonna stop doing it. So because it's not, you're gonna feel like it's not worth it.
My question is, what do you mean it wasn't getting any pull? We all loved Voltron growing up.
Yeah, we love Voltron, but were you actually going out and buying the stuff? And
and I think that's the issue
when it came to that product too.
How many toys can you get for Voltron?
But Brink just hit it. I got bored with Voltron after a while because it was essentially only one toy. Nobody gave a shit out of anything except for Voltron.
Because they didn't make monsters, the Robies, that's what it was called, the Robies to fight your Voltron, and I know they did make some characters, but they were wildly out of scale for your Matchbox Voltron that we had back then.
I had that.
That might be that's a very good reason.
Went down in the cockpits. Yeah.
And I like Lou's answer on that one too. It was an adult, but it depends on the kids, because by the time I think when Exo Squad came out, I was well into my teens.
Yeah.
Was it
That was
90s?
90s.
When
Yeah. Exo Squad
really?
was like what, 92, 93?
Oh,
Okay,
well,
so I was coming out
You
of
were
high
like
school.
87 years old. Yeah, we
yeah,
know.
I mean, come on, like what was I?
I got that
You know,
Benjamin Button. So,
by the
Yeah, baby.
time I was in my teens, my focus in life had told, I was not, even though the entire
Mm.
I was trying to transform
nerd,
something else.
the entire nerd geek culture was totally, it was
That shit went on
yeah.
hard
all
pause.
Yeah.
girls and sports,
Hmm.
and it took over. I know some, there are people who never left, the love for this, but I was not one of them. I didn't come back into all this until
I
maybe
never really left it, but I
early
paused it and
30s.
slid it to the back burner. Like
Yeah,
it
it
was
was all
always
like my
there.
interest was there. I
Yeah.
would watch whatever I'd watch on
It
TV
definitely
here
wasn't a
and there.
forefront thing like it is
Yeah.
now.
I had
This
the
wouldn't have happened
Transformers
in
on Blue when they put
this
them
wouldn't
all
have
out
happened in
on
my
the,
20s.
when they put them all out on the Blu-ray sets, the Transformers when they
The
were putting
DVD
those
box
out.
set.
I was
Yeah.
buying those, and I had that. I was always playing. I was always, still always into video games, but
Yeah.
as I got a little older again and things change, you start gravitating back to these
Mhm.
franchises, and it's like, you learn, oh wow, they made He-Man classics. Interesting. I didn't know they were doing that. Oh, look at
Hmm.
these masterpiece Transformers. And oh, they did this show while I was gone. Oh, they did this show over these years. I didn't know about this show. I didn't know about that one.
Hmm.
Probably Star Wars is the only one I kept up with because it wasn't, it wasn't that much. You had your 4, 5, 6, and then you had your 1, 2, 3.
And that's
You
it.
know,
We don't talk about anything else. That's it. I can see Gort's ears getting redder as you're numbering things. We're gonna stop talking about numbers.
you know, The Simpsons is another one that I still
I
don't know
still
how it's
never
still going.
I never got into it.
The Simpsons, but it's still going.
Yeah.
It stood the test. It's over 30 years old, man.
Yeah.
Now Lou brought up something, that answer that we said we liked. Talking about how Exo Squad didn't survive because it was too adult for children, so it was lost on children. So what would y'all think of wouldn't that make it ripe for like a Netflix remake, like how they just did Voltron?
Sure.
Do you think any of these things
Sure.
would be good for a big
But
Netflix reboot?
it would have to have had some. I don't think Exo Squad had enough popularity even at its height for them to even consider doing that. Voltron was it had a huge popularity in the
Huge.
80s.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Agreed.
So all right, we learn what can we, because right now Hollywood is all about the revival, all
Yeah.
about the
Hmm.
reboot,
You know what
but
you
what's
revival?
worth rebooting?
I mean, revive. You know what you would revive? Just like Netflix did with
Phantom Phonics?
Voltron. I would love for them to revive Robotech.
So
Robotech had a
I
strong
do think
following
they
too.
still do things for
Mm.
Robotech overseas. They have over the years.
Hmm.
They do like movies and
That's
stuff
a
still,
weird
right?
one to sit there and actually say it died because they've done all kinds of weird things, I believe, for Robotech throughout the
Well,
years.
Macross.
Yeah,
Macross, yeah.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, I
That's
would
a
love
weird
to
one.
see
Live
Robotech
action
So
get
though?
revived.
Live like Luth says, I think a
No, no,
movie, live action movie would suit Exo Squad better than an animated one.
no.
So like picturing
That's
like the
true.
the mech suit from like
Yeah.
freaking Matrix and like
Hmm.
aliens like that
but
live
for,
action.
for something like that to work, you have to put in the time and the money
Mhm.
so that it doesn't look like trash.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the
I think
thing.
the first
That's
thing
the
to
thing with
do would
live
be
action.
I think the first thing to do would be like an animated. Just put out one animated movie to see if it gets enough interest, builds buzz to go from there. Because I really
Hmm.
like go back and watch it. Going back and watching G1 Transformers is hard sometimes. Like once you get past X amount of episodes, it becomes a slog to get through that stuff. And once you get past the movie, you gotta be halfway drunk to make it through the rest of them episodes.
What movie? What are you talking about?
Past the animated Transformers movie. Like once you get into season 3 and the couple
Oh,
episodes of season 4, you got to be really faded to really get into those movies.
Yeah.
But like Exo Squad, go when we're done with this, all y'all listening and stuff, go pull up an episode of Exo Squad. Start with one and just watch it. It is a very great story that really kind of fits now. Yeah, Lou. And now I can no longer agree with you. Look, I've been agreeing with you and talking you up, and now you brought up Avatar, dude. Can you throw him in the corner?
No.
too?
He's
Talk
relating
about the mech
Avatar
suit,
because
but
he's talking about the mech suits in Avatar.
He
But to
said
his point,
Avatar.
if you get the right studio to do these to do a show like Exo Squad or a movie like Exo Squad, yeah, it will be an incredible movie. But it's like it's all about who picks it up and who's going to do what with it.
no, I
That's a
like
good
the
call.
potential is
Thank
there
you, Blink.
as
I didn't know
long
that.
as someone like a show like that live action. You
Is it?
have to put the budget there. You have to put the money on it so your effects don't look bad. You do it
Mhm.
and it don't look good. It's going to take away from the show. Same thing like Mask. I think Mask might be an interesting one to be
Mm-hmm.
done live action, but
Mm.
They're either gonna make that thing gonna be so Fast and the Furious it'll be disgusting.
well, that's what
Ugh.
it is. That's what Fast and Furious
Ugh.
is, without the
Mm-hmm.
guns on the car.
Right.
And they
That's
even done
true.
that sometimes. They even did that a couple times in Fast and
Mm-hmm.
Furious. You know, um,
I used to try to defend Fast and the Furious, but when they had that thing Spider-Maning across the ocean, I was like, nah, I'm out.
I would love to see Inhumanoids come back, but it's never going to happen because the show is not good enough.
Sky Commanders. Mm.
If I'm
Yeah,
has, I
yeah,
think
Brink said it.
Hasbro actually owns a license, I believe,
I
from
know
what
what
I
I'm doing
last
tonight.
heard for Inhumanoids. It's sitting in their vault. If I'm sitting there
Mhm.
going through my vault of stuff, like, what can we do next? I'm gonna look at Inhumanoids and be like, no, I don't think it's
Hopefully,
worth the effort. It's not worth the risk. And that's a
The,
shame because I would love to get a nice big 13, 14 inch,
yeah,
decomposed and tendril right now with articulation and all that.
I
But
told you I still remember having the green guy with the flat top helmet and the buzzsaw arm. I remember
mhm.
having that figure with the light piping that went through. Like
I
I
only had the
remember that figure.
monsters. I don't think I had any of the actual characters, and I didn't care for the characters.
Hmm.
I don't even remember their names. I remember the monsters though.
well, if you ask nicely, Ramen Toys will do.
Ramen toys
Well,
can
hold on a second.
kiss
If
my
we ask
ass.
nicely, Ramen Toys will show you a render and then spend 2.5 years sucking their own ass, telling you how great it's going to be before you
Oh,
see it. It falls
look
apart.
who remembered we had a show on
Chuckles,
Thursdays, not
Chuckles.
Fridays.
What the hell, Chuck? What's up, brother? What the hell, man? We're here every Friday. Where you been?
And Chuck, you heard what I said. Like, I know it's never going to happen, but that's one of the shows from a kid that I like. Jason and Real Warriors was another one that I actually
Yes,
really enjoyed, but
Gort
they'll
wants
never do.
you will
Dinosaurs.
never see that.
I don't
You will
think they'll
never see
ever.
that.
I think you'd have a better chance of Dinosaurs getting a remake because it's dinosaurs.
Gort wants
And
dinosaurs and
kids love
Cadillacs.
dinosaurs. Dino
Yeah,
Riders
if
is
if
another
you
property. I think you would have a better chance of seeing
Now,
revival
Dino
because
Riders would
again,
be awesome.
it's just
yeah,
dinosaurs.
I wish
It's
that
I
was
don't, I don't
getting
mean it's
updated.
just dinosaurs, but it's dinosaurs. That's
It's
something
one of
that
those
has
things we talked
never
about.
kids love their
Vehicles,
dinosaurs.
robots, dinosaurs, like all
yeah.
that.
If
That's like checking all the boxes.
if you do an adult theme dinosaurs, it will get some traction. I
But
mean, it definitely will.
only if they can get what's his face uh to
The
play
Secret Scouts got to be adults too. So
only if they can get Dennis Hopper to play the T-Rex. And I don't want nobody else to play T-Rex.
I don't
Dennis
think
Hopper.
that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Nah.
And to sit here and bring up a sore subject. I know we touch on it a bit, but say whatever you will about Star Wars, it has lasted the test of time, and it is not going
Hold on.
anywhere
It's not
Is
going
Chuck
anywhere.
flirting with
anytime
me?
soon.
Hold on. Is Chuck flirting with me now?
Probably moving on.
Okay, stay
You
on
know,
topic.
Oh, just because he ain't like y'all's eyes, you want to move along past it. Hey, Chuck.
Where's the
uh,
graphic?
Star Wars has lasted the test of time, and it is not going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't know.
Star Wars went somewhere about 20 years ago. We're waiting
I
for
mean,
it to come
Gort, you
back.
can. A lot of us, people who grew up with it, yeah, a lot of us are not thrilled with what we've gotten over the last 10 years.
Yeah, but I'll tell
But
you,
it's still going.
everything that they make, like product wise, it all goes like to clearance quickly now. Like I don't know, it's never been like that before. like the viewership on all this stuff, when you hear about like any of the shows, it's been going down. The movies all were a downhill trend as they were coming out. Seven was the biggest. Like I don't
Well,
know.
here's
I think
somebody
it's
said
gonna
it.
continue.
I think somebody said it on our last hangout, and it doesn't make me like it any better, but it makes me rearrange my anger at it. But 7, 8, 9 is somebody's G1, the same way as Beast Wars was somebody's Transformers G1. Like there's
Oh, well,
somebody
that's
actually
G1.
commented and said that 7, 8, 9 is what got them into Star Wars. Like
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, and I'm with you. I think to me that is where they veered way off. But still, in retrospect, you have to give them credit that they're getting new people
Still
in there.
going. It's still going.
At the
There's
very
more.
least, we still have 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3 if we're feeling froggy, and we still have the Legends books that we can go back and read and enjoy. But
Sure.
at least they're still pulling new people
But
in.
even to what Esteban's saying, like, yeah, that's true. But between that and the comics, like the games
The video
outsell any of that stuff.
games.
And there's no traction for any of that to go into like the mainstream. Like
Mhm.
Fallen Order was a very popular game. Survivor seems to be doing well. Like that's just come out. They don't want to make a show with that. They don't want to do anything extended with that.
See,
And probably
I
just
don't
so that they
know.
can hang on, probably so that they could just make more games. Like you want to keep that in the game because that is the medium that it's going to stay successful in. If you make it in another medium, you're going to hurt the potential to make games because the more you do the content spread around like that, you hurt the storytelling experience. But those books and things, they don't sell, like they sell worse than the figures do.
What I think is the
Because people don't know how to read
miss,
because they're idiots.
particularly with Survivor and Cal Kestis, is the kid, or well, not the kid, the guy who plays the character for the games is an
Yeah.
actual actor.
Yeah.
So and he's good. If you've never seen Shameless or Gotham, just a couple shows I remember him in. He's really good. Like I think they're missing an opportunity to get this guy on screen.
Let me ask you a question, Gort, and this is for Star Wars. Do you think that Star Wars lost its way as a result of before or after George Lucas took his hands off of it?
After.
Because Disney
Yeah.
over inundates. They're going to flood the market nonstop. It'll never go away. And I talked about that with Gort before. Is I think that was one of the biggest things about Star Wars is we had huge gaps to sit there and marinate and enjoy what we had. Now it's every other month you're getting something new from Star Wars. It doesn't fucking stop.
Why do you think they paid $4 billion for it? They didn't pay $4 billion for Indiana Jones.
Well, nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing the point, but that's
they're
Disney's
going
job
to do it.
But they're
No.
oversaturating. I think
And
it's
that's
too
what
much.
Disney does, and that's what they've always done.
The MCU is another perfect example of it. They're overdoing it. We're so excited about these.
I disagree about
MCUs,
that.
and I think it's too much. It's too much.
You know what? Here's my thing when people talk about oversaturation. Not that I know we're getting off topic. If it was actually good, you would never hear a complaint that it's being oversaturated. That we're getting too much of it.
But that's the problem with oversaturation.
If it was actually
oversaturation, but oversaturation never has that. It's all
You
good.
know.
That's the thing. Oversaturation is they throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. That's oversaturation.
No,
And that's literally what they've done with the MCU with the TV shows.
Well, see, it's
and the movies and trying to tie them all together. It's becoming too much, man.
Well, when you look at it, the MCU is following the comic format. In the end, it's a connected universe, so that's what they're doing.
But if I wanted the comics, I would go read the comics.
Yeah, yeah,
He's looking for a hate for me.
No, because I'm thinking, I'm still thinking, I'm still on the whole George Lucas thing.
Gore would hit that button in 2 seconds.
No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. It wasn't. It was because of what Derek, Ricky said, not you, Derek. I'm sorry.
But the George Lucas piece, is very important because it goes back to what we're initially talking about tonight. How where is everything falling up? Where did everything fall off? So So that's why I asked you that question. Do you think it fell off? That Star Wars started really falling off as a result of George Lucas taking his hands off of Star Wars?
Partly, yeah.
Like not initially, because you still had Clone Wars was lingering around. Like they canceled it, which I think was the biggest mistake that they had made. But they put like the produced episodes onto Netflix and the whole series, for that matter, with it, and that just kept that going afloat. You know, moving right into episode 7. But after that, you have characters that ultimately don't resonate with people and they don't sell. Like I see Chuck in the comments talking about like supply and demand and all that bullshit and COVID crap. No, they haven't been selling for years. I can go into a Walgreens and an Ollie's and there's still Last Jedi figures. You know, that movie came out years ago.
Okay, so let me direct. Esteban asked me a direct question. He says, "You don't have to assume it though, Ricky. If the films are all that matters, why is all the content a problem?" And I'll answer that with one question. Let's say I'm strictly movies. My one answer is somehow. See, in a movie, they just said somehow Palpatine's fucking still around, and now this whole entire Skywalker saga is now a Palpatine saga. But in the TV shows, they're going to waste season 3 of Mando and all these other shows to try to explain away that somehow. So they didn't put it in the movie. So they're making me have to go watch these shows to figure out why this happened the way it happened.
No, it's pretty
The movie's not self-contained. They did not tell me how Palpatine got there. But they're telling me that in this, you go watch the show, we'll tell you how you got here.
I know we're getting off topic here about Star Wars, but I will ask you a question. They didn't tell you how Palpatine survived, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
They didn't tell you how Anakin became Vader in 4. Not when it came out. Not in 4. But it wasn't a complaint. But did you complain at the time?
But I'm talking, but Disney wasn't oversaturating in 1977 either. We're talking about now with the oversaturation.
Wouldn't you have wanted to find out? Didn't you always want to know the Anakin storyline?
Yeah, well, George gave us that. George gave us that, right?
Hang on. What he's trying to say is that you didn't have those answers or any of that stuff for 20 years. And no one was asking those questions, not until they knew more movies were coming up. Then they started asking, but no one was really asking in the meantime, except, the 5, nerds that care that much. Like, it didn't matter. Like, there were stories, there were novels, there was a lot of publications. So, like, you had supplemental content, but they could never directly say what happened because there was always a ban on anything to do with the Clone Wars and before the movies because Lucas didn't want to touch on that. He let people write stories after that. That's where the Thrawn books come in and everything just continues from there. But prior to that, I mean, look, why is the Empire bad? Why are the rebellion fighting against them? You don't have those answers. You know nothing. Because they blew up Alderaan, right? That's why
the Empire is not bad.
But before that, you don't know. You just see like they're killing people and stuff here and there. They kill Luke's family, right? Yeah. But you don't have those answers. It's not there. How did the Emperor come to power? What's his name? He was just the Emperor in the movie. They didn't say Palpatine. They mention a Senate in the first movie. They got, tossed out. But, it's just cookie crumbs, man. Like, some people are asking about that stuff, but you never got the answers. Even the rebellion, you never had a proper idea of what the leadership was. Princess Leia is important, but you always see someone else running the show. Why is she important to the rebellion? There's no particular reason. Like, there's so many things. You just take it all for granted, in those movies, and you ask the questions later because someone told you to. But it didn't matter then. You didn't need to know about, who Vader was. It didn't matter.
See, I've always been, maybe it's me, I've always been different. I've always wanted, where did Transformers, what happened? Show me more. I always wanted more before Earth. More before G1. What happened before that? How did it happen? I've always been that. I like when they give me all that stuff to fill in all those blanks in these franchises. I've always been that way. But that's just me. I know some people like, who cares? It doesn't matter. But that's just a me thing.
Right here, what Esteban is saying too. Like, the somehow Palpatine, like, I know that it's like a popular thing to rip on, and I'll certainly do it myself because I do think it's dumb. Like, he was pretty dead in an exploding space station. You could
Mhm.
say he survived through the Force or something, and maybe if they actually said that, that would be fine, but they don't. But what he says, like, there's just a second Death Star that shows up. Oh yeah, they built it. Okay, like how'd they build that? Under everybody's noses. I don't know.
Same
You
way
know,
they
I'm trying
built
to
in the
see the
first one under
correlation.
everybody's
But see,
noses.
that's okay. Okay, so Eric kind of touched on the breadcrumbs, leaving the breadcrumbs for you to think about. That gives us stuff to talk about. But with all this, what I'm talking about, the oversaturation is they're now going through and explaining it. It's like watching a Sherlock Holmes movie where they tell you who the killer is at the very beginning and why they did it, and then you spend the next 2 hours going over how we got to the point where you knew he did it and how he did it. Like, it's no point. You've already told me now, so who gives a shit about the rest of it? Like,
It's a little different. I know what you mean, though.
You understand what I'm saying? Trying to get to though. I'm been drinking. Don't come at me.
No, it's
Cinco de Mayo,
it's
motherfucker.
a reasonable comparison. Like, you don't. The thing is, you don't need all the answers. But when somebody is like explicitly killed off,
But a
in
big
like, a
answer.
giant
That's
exploding space
big.
station, I mean,
That's
I
fucking
think,
big.
I think that demands an answer a bit more than some other things do.
Man. More a lot more than
why
they
is the
going, I
Resistance
think
still
I
using
mean.
X-wings and all this other stuff? Like, there's been no advancement in the last 30 years of the galaxy, and they're not the same X-wings from the Rebels. They're different models, but it's still X-wings and TIE fighters. We know it's just because they're trying to sell nostalgia, but you look at like the ships and the designs in Episode 1, and the idea behind that is that the galaxy at the time is a more pristine state. Everything is shiny, nice, and new. Everything is sleek and like beautiful looking. And then you have these chunky, garbage heaps that are glued together.
Wasn't this supposed to be a topic for
Hold
later
on,
shows?
hold on.
Now,
But
he's been off
Esteban,
the rails a
Like
long
we're
time.
totally,
Been off the rails a long time.
Esteban just hit it though. It answers our question for tonight. This passion is how a franchise survives. Because we give a fuck and we still talk about it and we keep it going.
Yeah.
He nailed it. That's the
right.
answer to our question, to our topic. That's how it survives.
Lucas did something right where he made a franchise that we cared about these characters, and they stuck with us.
Right.
Hasbro did it with Transformers, GI Joe.
But hold on, there's a difference with that, because with George Lucas is one man who created a concept and stuck with it, and he was the only one that has his hands on it. When you're dealing with a company who is a machine, they're dealing with a product, and there's no one person taking the time to go, okay, this is the direction that we want to keep. We want to do this, and then move forward and keep it in this particular direction. George Lucas did that. That's why Star Wars I'll call it the George Lucas run I'm basing this off of what I'm hearing from all of you. The George Lucas run was successful because George Lucas had the passion to keep it going and to keep it relevant and to keep it, keep you engaged into it. When he took his hands off of it and there was different direction taken to it, that's when the disinterest started. That's when everyone started getting disgruntled about it and complaining. And I mean, some people liked it, but then then you're split into two different factions at this point. You got the diehard Star Wars fans. Then you have the fans who like Star Wars and will just watch it and continue to keep being engaged in it because there's no invested interest into it. But they like it. And that's me. That's me. And I'm looking at it because it's entertaining to me. Some of the stories are, engaging, and I want to see it. I want to see it through to the end. But for your, fans, y'all are looking at it in a different perspective because you're looking at me like, okay, well, that's not how you do it. That's not the way it's supposed to go. So yeah, there's that split. But if you're putting it into perspective, that's why Star Wars has lasted as long as it has, because it has a consistency with its fan base. And whether they hate it, whether they love it or hate it, Star Wars fans are always going to stick around just to see what happens. Transformer fans, same, almost the same thing.
We're fucking suckers. All you have to do is
Almost
slap Star Wars
thing.
on it, slap
the
Transformers
biggest
on it.
miss
We're gonna see
that I think the biggest thing that Disney and Lucas is you have one man as opposed to now too many hands in a pot.
Yep.
Same thing with 7, 8, and 9. Different writers, different directors for the same trilogy. I've never liked that idea. I don't like it when they do it for a TV show. We're gonna
Yeah.
have 10 different directors for 10 different episodes. I
Yeah.
think you lose
Right.
something. Even it's I just think you lose a feeling of cohesiveness a little bit
Yeah.
into what you're watching.
Because you look
And
at the prequels, it's not the best story, but they're cohesive to one
yeah,
another.
yep.
They have the same feel and vibe, and
Mhm.
and some of the acting. I mean, it's
Misa
Is what it
say
is.
you
those
wish it could
movies
be
are
better, but
trash.
at least it all matches up.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
All
was.
right, so
Is
to
it
bring it
safe
off
to
of Star
say?
Wars, because we are
Hold on,
trying to
Ricky.
save
Let me
that
say this.
topic, bring it
Okay,
about
hold on.
Transformers, because you can do the
Okay.
same thing with Transformers with the live
Is
action
it
movies.
is it safe to
Oh.
say that Star Wars, just like all the other franchises, like Transformers, them, is now a machine?
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
Versus
It is
Mhm.
100%
it's been a
the
machine.
Disney
It's been a
machine,
machine since day one.
no,
it's
Ever.
it's a Disney
No,
It's a
machine
I'm a
now.
machine because it's like everybody's hands are on it and instead of just one.
Yes. Chuck
That's on
said it in
me.
a very Chuck kind of way, but dictatorship of vision versus democracy of a writing room. It was one person running the ship versus now it's too many people running the damn ship.
Yep.
Right.
It
Right.
is what it
You
is.
know.
It's like Eric said, it's too many chefs in the kitchens, too many hands in the pot. You're gonna mess it up every time.
Right. But and to bring it all back, that's what contributes to most of these franchises' failures as to why they're in the position they're in now, with even with the shows from back then. Because it's too many hands in the pot.
Esteban, I love you. I'm not even gonna argue with you, but you're wrong.
Mhm. But you were saying, Ricky, Ricky, you was trying to bring it back to
I was
Transformers
trying
and
to. I was
everything
just trying to
else.
get I was just trying to get off Star Wars because that is something that we've talked about saving for
Sure.
future episodes, and we're
Sure.
already grinding. We're already chipping away at some of those conversations now.
Mhm.
So I was just trying to bring it to something else,
Yeah.
like another big franchise that's lasted a long time, Transformers. Like people are tired with where Star Wars has gone. Look where we are with Transformers. The live action movies are going a crazy direction, and we're all like, "What the shit is all this?" So
Mhm.
that's why I was just trying to move it to that. So we're talking about that instead of burning through our other topics.
Right. Right. And that speaks to different generations of Transformer fans too, because the reason why the live movies are so popular now is because the kids from that era, that was their first exposure to Transformers. That was their first exposure, even though Transformers been around for a while. That's their first real exposure to it. To say, oh, these robots that turn into
But how do
vehicles
they
and all
say
that.
on the internet? Fuck them kids. We're talking about us. Why is it
I,
messed up for us, man?
It's messed up for us because the concept of Transformers has actually changed. It's become this thing where it's gone back to marketing, but it's losing its essence.
Okay.
It's
So I'm
lost its
gonna I'm
essence.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna try to pull it in. I'm gonna try to stay strong, pony boy, and bring us back to
Mhm.
the main topic, which was why do franchises survive for so long? Why has Transformers post so what would like us as our generation who likes Transformers, you had Prime and animated was first and then Prime. Those were like the last two really big Transformers where everybody was like, these are actually really good. And then
Mhm.
everything post that has been mid to trash since then. Why is it still here? Why is it still surviving?
Because the concept of Transformers is always going to be intriguing
So it's
to
going to survive
any
without
genre.
us. That's what we're getting
It's
at. It's
gonna
going to survive without us,
way
whether
past
it's what
us,
we want or
and
not.
it's gonna evolve too.
Mhm.
It's gonna definitely evolve.
Like
You know,
Pokemon been around what 25 years? I couldn't give a fuck about a Pokemon. Everything I know about
have
Pokemon,
you
I learned from a 13-year-old.
have you
Like I
seen
missed that.
have you seen the one somebody did a transforming car, a real transforming car? If you've seen it, it basically rises up and it has a robot form body. 40, 50 years from now, that's going to be a real thing. And those are going to be in your movies. That's how it's going to evolve. That's the way it's intended to evolve. So to evolve, I should say. So that's the whole purpose of that. If you're not evolving to the next level, then you're going to die out. You're going to be done. Brave Star, Silverhawks, Thundercats, all of that stuff. They were great concepts back then, but if you're not evolving it, it's going to die out. If you're not taking the time to, really just sit down and be like, okay, what's the next thing? How can we make this better? Transformers, Turtles, G.I. Joe, Barbie. All of that has evolved because they've taken the time to really, figure out the next steps for those particular products. If you're not taking that time, then it's not going to evolve and it's going to die out. So that's pretty much what that is.
Yeah, like I think it's like I feel like the more these franchises move along like this, the more we sound like the grumpy old men talk about my back in my day everything was better,
Yeah.
because that's
And I
what it
hate
is.
it. And I
It's
hate that
it's
too.
Brammer just kind of touched on it. These people running it now were the kids that grew up with Beast Wars as their G1. So
Mhm.
now they're the 25, 30-year-olds that are now making these movies, and that's why we're gonna have Rise of the Beasts. And then give it a few years, and we're gonna have Energon, and they're gonna work all that shit into it because those kids will be now making movies and running shit. And the further it goes from what we love, the more this is trash. This is the
Yeah.
worst. This is
And
garbage.
by the way,
Mhm.
the van Volkswagen is a bug. Is a bug. I mean, a beetle.
They just called it a
The
bus.
punch buggy is the bug. The
Mhm.
bus is the beetle. It was never called a bus. It was a Volkswagen Beetle. It was a beetle and the bug.
The
I
car
don't
was
know
a
how.
Volkswagen. The car was a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, the car was a Volkswagen Bug. The van was a Volkswagen Beetle.
You're not feeling good, and I love you enough to let you think you won that one.
Guess what? My headache is near
It's been
diminished
a
now.
Volkswagen Beetle since like
And
1942, but we'll say it's a bug.
it's not a
All
beetle.
right, so
Beetle was
I
the man.
really think, jokes aside, and we all like it's hard to keep it
Okay, let's go to
onto a
Google.
singular track sometimes because we all are very passionate about it. And I really think Esteban answered it. It's this conversation, the fact that we've gone almost 2 hours and could probably go for another 2 or 3 hours talking about this shit is the reason why these franchises are still alive. And unfortunately, the talking about what's your G1 versus these younger kids' G1 is why these franchises will continue to go way past us. We won't give a shit.
Damn it. Y'all was
It's
right.
gonna.
Because
I know.
they're able to reinvent
Don't say y'all. Say
themselves.
Ricky. Say Ricky was right.
No, I'm
Because
talking about the
they're able
bus.
to,
It was a bus.
I know.
they're able to reinvent themselves,
Mhm.
especially something like so. Just real quick, Star
You're
Wars,
good.
in the end, has been just in the end, it is still just one massive continuity. Something like Transformers, they have constantly reinvented themselves time and time again keep them to keep them alive. With
Mhm.
each iteration, each show, each whatever you want to call it, each universe, each timeline, however you want to put it, they keep doing it over and over and over again. I want to see. I know.
It's going
I
to lead
want
us further and
to.
further in the dust the more it goes because they're going to get further and further away from the version we love. Is the problem?
But that's how you. But that's how you
I know.
survive.
That's how the franchise
Because
keeps going. We're just going to feel left
now you
behind.
have
Mhm.
you have the adults
Mhm.
who are able to who want to buy this stuff, right? Like we do as adults. We're buying the product, the toys, we're going to the movies, we're taking our kids to see the movies. We're doing this
Mhm.
and that, and you're gonna want these kids in 20 years, 30 years when they're 30, whatever the new version of the toys are out back then. That's how you keep them coming.
Mhm.
You know,
I show my kids the G1 stuff and like the old X-Men animated and all that kind of stuff to show them what I grew up on, and they love and appreciate it, but they also love the new versions that I can't keep up with the stuff that they like sometimes. Like I'm like, ugh. I watch and I'm like, that's not my exactly, Nick. It's member berries. We're all getting older. We're all getting more nostalgic. We're all wishing for when we were younger and um like we're all wishing that it was what we fell in love with. But the thing is that we always have to remember is it's what we fell in love with that um created these franchises that are moving
Mhm.
forward. I mean, that's the best we can come away from is at least we were there at the beginning of this. No matter how much it changes, how far it gets away from what we love, we still have that original stuff to go back to. I still have 4, 5, and 6 to go watch. 1, 2, and 3 if I'm
Mhm.
feeling froggy.
I watched them yesterday. 4,
I
5,
still
6.
have some of the old school EU books on my bookshelves. I still have G1 box set. I still have Batman animated box set. I still have X-Men box sets. Like I can go back to the old stuff if I need to, but it
Mhm.
does, in a sad way, make me feel happy knowing that it's still going. I'm gonna end up seeing this Rise of the Beast with my kids, but look, my oldest is 13, my youngest is about to be 12. Like the clock is very much ticking on how many times I have to go to these types of movies with them.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll become a day where I won't have to. There'll be no excuse for me to go see this shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to step back and just watch the versions that I like and not worry about any of this stuff. But hopefully it's
Mhm.
still
Yeah.
there to go on for
The
them.
only franchise I've been able to get any of my kids to watch from when I was young is my daughter does love DuckTales.
Yeah.
Couldn't get my kids into the G1 Transformers, like those original ones. And but DuckTales did. My daughter like put on DuckTales, put on DuckTales.
Mhm.
That's good stuff. So it was a good show. And like, there's no way to keep this contained within a 2-hour conversation. All of us are nerds. All of us are passionate about our nerd stuff. We all have had these conversations for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. And we've all done it on different podcasts for hours on end. We just did it on this podcast for almost 2 hours. We could do multiple other things and keep going. It'll never end. But I do think I go back to it, and I have to give the man credit. Besides that silly nonsense he said about the peak of Star Wars, Spawn nailed it, dude. It's this passion that's going to keep it going. And as long as we can pass that passion on to the next generation, it'll still keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Let's
I
not
think
even
that's about as
start.
good a place as any to kind of to wrap it up. So I'm gonna go. One time we want to go around, tell everybody where we can find y'all.
Yeah, Gort stepped away for a minute, so
Gort had to
just
step away for a minute, so he's Gort on Facebook. That's it. And he doesn't want to talk to you anyway, so don't even message him. Go.
you can find me here every Friday night. You can find me on Facebook, Eric Espada. I am on Instagram where I don't post, but you can follow me there, EE202020.
All right. Derek, where you at, my man?
You can find me, Derek Bigsby, on your Book of Faces. You can find me here every Friday. Each show, Realmhattan Project or the Rock Hangout. You can also find me on 2 different shows for the Realm of Collectors channel. That is Do You Even Transform, Bro? And also Right Out the Box. You can also find me on TGG Live at TGG and Friends. TGG Friends 7202 on YouTube. That is a live show that we're doing every Thursday. And you can also find me here on Monday nights with the Chat Squad, bringing the what? Yeah, I still got a headache. I can't do it.
I didn't know if
Bringing
you'd
the
been
what?
saving up for it all show, so I
Bringing the
took my ears
what
out just in
to
case.
the chat bringing the what to the Chat Squad, and that's where you find me.
Yep. And I'm Ricky. I'm in the ROC. You can find me in there somewhere. I do this with these guys every Friday. We get together, either alternating hangout show. You can find me. I do the Now You Made It Awkward with Shoki. And I'm around. Like, I'm probably forgetting stuff, but it is what it is. I don't know.
No, don't forget to watch.
I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
I got you. So that's where you can find me at. Like, I literally just said that's where you can find me at. So, but also because
You also
Eric got
said
help me.
I think I'm forgetting stuff, so I was just.
I was thinking. I talk about me personally. Like, where else? Like,
Nobody
I
cares
can
about
find
you
stuff.
personally anymore.
Well, I mean, that's cool. I'll go fuck myself.
Wow.
But while I'm
Okay.
fucking myself, make sure y'all come back on Monday nights to catch ETR on the Realm of Collectors channel. Wednesdays, they alternate with figure banging and shelf gravy. I believe this upcoming week is a shelf gravy because they just did a figure banging.
Yep.
We're here every other week, alternating between hangout and live show. Right out the boxes whenever. The Do You Transform, Bro is whenever. Check out the In the Realm clips. Dust has been doing those like pre-ETR. Those have actually been pretty interesting, where he reaches out and talks to some of the different members and finds out how they got there and what they're into and what brought them to the realm, and you know, their vibes and what they've done while there and how they feel about it. Like, it's been pretty cool, like watching those. I have to admit.
Yeah, it's been very cool because it's nice to know who some of the members are that we haven't
Putting
met
faces
yet.
with names and
Right,
stuff.
exactly. And then because you see them, you actually walk past them at shows, but didn't put the name to the face.
Oh yeah.
So that's a really cool. That's a really cool thing that Dust is doing on Monday nights before ETR. Definitely check those out.
Yeah. And so here we are, May 5th. So y'all mark that date. So in 1 month, to June 5th, or the closest Realmhattan show to that. Come back and ask Eric if he still has that Dio in his thing or if he's tossed it. So come back and ask him. But thank you for the showcase. It was really cool, Eric. I bust your balls on here, but I love your work. Like I'm always impressed when somebody does stuff like that. Everybody they act like it's not a thing. It's a thing, man. It's a lot harder than people give credit for.
This one's a keeper, I think.
Yeah, you should be very proud of it. It came out really
and
cool.
I don't say that often. But
thanks
I'm
for sharing that. Thanks
when
for
you
sharing
went into
that
the
with us.
wiring, and like I said, that little Spider-Man thing is such just like a little background thing that 9 times out of 10 people wouldn't pay attention to. I love little shit like that, and I thought that was really cool.
Also, there will be a unbroadcasted hangout tonight. So
there'll be
stay tuned.
Unbroadcasted hangout.
Stay tuned for the link. I'll drop it in the Facebook group. If you don't see it in the group, just hit me up, message me directly. I can send it to anybody that wants to hang out tonight.
Push your own
and
button.
We can continue the conversation offline if you guys want.
Yep. So that's it, guys. We're going to get the hell out of here. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to the chat squad. Thank you, everybody that was in there.
Yes.
Esteban, I noticed you did it in there, man. Don't ever apologize. None of y'all should ever apologize for what we say in here, man. It's not about changing subjects and stuff. As long as you're not directly offending somebody, we're good with it, man. We love all y'all, and we appreciate y'all being here. And can't wait to see y'all next week. I love you guys, mostly.
Say it with me now. Round.